And we're kicking things off with some breaking news coming in from Islamabad ahead of the no trust vote against Pakistan's Prime Minister Imran Khan. Opposition leader Shahbaz Sharif has said that nobody can stop the opposition from voting out the Imran Khan government. Opposition leaders have started to walk towards the National Assembly in Islamabad for what they are hoping will see the ouster of Imran Khan as the Prime Minister of Pakistan. Shahbaz Sharif is widely seen to be possibly the next Prime Minister of Pakistan if things go his way. But like most things political in Pakistan, nothing is ever over until it is over. Anything can happen. Compromises can be struck in minutes, in hours even. And Imran Khan is now hanging on for dear life as his office as Prime Minister of Pakistan hangs by a thread at this point of time. Shahbaz Sharif flexing muscle, saying the opposition cannot be stopped from voting Imran Khan's government out of office. Remember, Shahbaz Sharif has taken a very, very aggressive tone. He's also said that Imran Khan should be facing charges of treason. That's the latest we're getting in from Pakistan. Members of the National Assembly have already begun arriving in the Assembly building for the no trust motion that will be kicking off in just minutes from now. I want to introduce our panel of experts and guests. Morning, we have Ambassador Rajiv Dogra, who's with me live here in the studio. We'll also be joined in just a moment by reporters live with us from okay, I'm going to request our producers to please, Ambassador Dogra, I want to start with you first. Shahbaz Sharif has been, he's been raising the pitch hour on hour, day on day. The numbers are increasingly in his favor even now. Everybody's walking towards the National Assembly. You've been a very close a close watcher of Pakistan. You've been there as well. Can anything change, or is Imran Khan's fate sealed, sir, in your view?
Well, the way Imran Khan has been threatening that he has a number of options up his sleeve, one can't rule out anything. But if one goes by the constitution, which in the past many Pakistani political leaders and army generals have not gone by, but still, if a constitution is given a chance, then Imran Khan does not have any hope of being in power any longer than today. But as I said, nothing can be ruled out, and Imran Khan is known to play dirty. Let me tell you one anecdote, a personal anecdote. I had gone to Guyana on official business for a couple of days. And then since there was some free time, I went in to the massage room of the hotel for a massage. And the masseur there looked very, very sad. I said, "What's wrong with you?" He said, "Look, I am out of business ever since Imran Khan came here." There was a test match, and in that test match, till the lunch of the final day, West Indies team was winning. And Imran Khan had sprained his shoulder. So he came into the massage room, asked the masseur if he could do something, and that masseur did miracles. So Imran Khan was okay. Post-lunch, he bowled the West Indies team out. So masseur told me that ever since, I'm banned by my team. I don't have any clientele. So Imran Khan has tricks up his sleeves, but I think he also has army against him. Because yesterday's speech by the Army General at the International Security Dialogue in Islamabad
seemed to go against Imran.
That was really a bouncer against Imran, which I don't think he can. If he is wise, he will not confront the army chief.
Would he have expected that at all, Ambassador? Would he have expected that bouncer? Because he met with the the army chief, the ISI chief, just a couple of days ago before he made that big extravagant 1.5 hour speech. Would he have expected that bouncer?
You're very right. Going by the past record of the meetings and semi-confrontations, especially about the previous DGISI, where he insisted that unlike in the past, he would interview the three candidates, and he kept on delaying the selection and appointment
Yes.
of the new DGISI. So Imran Khan by nature is confrontational, and so far army had been giving him a long rope. But I think that the length of that rope has now been shortened somewhat, if not cut entirely.
Ambassador Dogra, stay with me. We have Alia Zehra. She's a journalist from Pakistan. She's managing editor of Naya Daur, which is a digital news platform in Pakistan. Alia, welcome. Things are now down to the wire, it looks like. The members of the National Assembly walking towards the building as we speak. We've got live images coming in from Islamabad of all the netas now making their way into the National Assembly. What's it looking like? After that big bouncer from General Bajwa yesterday, Alia, are things pretty much sealed now, or is Imran Khan able to pull some kind of miracle out of this?
Yes, so Imran Khan, it seems, is trying to cling on to power by hook or by crook, and even if that means creating unrest in the country, in the capital, he urges followers to come to Islamabad, and in the same breath, he was.
I will go back to Alia in just a moment. I'm sorry, we just had a bit of a technical problem there. But the desperation to cling to power. Ambassador Dogra, is there any light you can throw on that? What are Imran Khan's options? What would he be trying to do right now? Would he be trying to lure back some of the people who've dumped him and crossed over to this so-called united opposition? Would he be trying some kind of constitutional method to try and dodge this entire no trust motion exercise? What are his options really?
Well, he hinted at some of it at the dinner he hosted yesterday for his party members, the MNAs, the members of the National Assembly or PTI, where he said that, opposition may be making tall claims of a majority and so on, but they are under a wrong impression that some of my members and others cannot cross over and come back again. So one, he is given that hint. Second, and against the Constitution, since you mentioned about the Constitution says that immediately after the bill is introduced by the Speaker, the members will file in a single file and come and cast their votes. So that is the procedure. But there is also the possibility that members of his party, PTI, would indulge in some kind of a long harangue against the opposition tactics and delay the voting as much as possible. That is not on the agenda of the assembly as such, but you can never rule this out. The third possibility which has been talked of is that after the bill is introduced, the Speaker will somehow prorogue the assembly for another 7 days or so. Again, that is against the Constitution. But as I said, these are the possibilities which are being talked about. Imran Khan himself will be present in the party.
Yes.
Imran Khan has also withdrawn or cancelled his earlier letter asking his party members not to be present at the voting. Now he says they must all be present. So whether he has a real surprise up his sleeve or is it just a drama that he is indulging in, we will know in the next half an hour or so.
Okay, so, is this all a lot of muscle flexing and posturing? Does Imran Khan really have, some reason to, to feel confident about what's going to happen? As Ambassador Dogra very rightly said, or, the speculation is all going to be useless in the next half hour, 45 minutes, because the numbers are going to speak. The no trust motion is going to happen unless, of course, there's in some strange way. And, as we know with Pakistan, anything is possible until the fact actually happens. So we're going to hold on to, dealing any verdicts on Imran Khan for the moment, because like I said, it's all going to play out before our eyes in just a few moments from now. Those are live pictures coming in from Islamabad. All of those are members of that National Assembly, like MPs in India, walking towards the assembly building where the procedures will start. Imran Khan will be there as well. And we don't know if he's going to have a say, but the no trust motion will take place. It shouldn't take very long, but whether it happens and whether it actually goes through is the real question at this point of time. Shahbaz Sharif has asked for treason charges against Imran Khan. You've got a situation where Maryam Nawaz has accused Imran Khan's political party of, attacking her father, who is ill and recovering in London. So you've got a lot of cloak and dagger taking place, a lot of drama that is very much part of what's going on in the surround sound. Alia is back with us from Islamabad. Alia, we lost you for a moment. I hope you can hear me. Go ahead.
I can, yes. So I was talking about how Imran Khan has, instigated violence and tried to create unrest in Pakistan. When you talk about treason allegation, when you accuse somebody of treason, you're potentially inciting violence against them, right? So Imran Khan, on multiple occasions, for the past few days, has been saying that these people who left him, the dissident lawmakers, and even the opposition members, they have been part of some foreign conspiracy, and therefore they're guilty of treason. So he says that the US was trying to hatch the conspiracy against Pakistan, against Imran Khan's government, and the opposition leaders, the opposition parties who are behind this no trust move knew about it, and they were in contact with the US. So this is some serious allegation. Of course, he doesn't have any evidence to back it up or any kind of proof, but he is saying that, and this kind of populist statements where you're calling, where you're openly kind of challenging a superpower, these resonate with the masses. They especially PTI supporters, and they do buy this narrative. So, which is why it is very dangerous that you're kind of endangering lives, because in Pakistan we see that people do engage in violence over statements, just over somebody's definition of a word, or over there is extremist violence as well. So accusing somebody of treason is something very serious. So this is what Imran Khan is doing, and we have also heard that he's trying to intimidate opposition members just so they're not able to vote. Now the fresh update that we have just received is that the opposition has also submitted a no confidence motion against the Speaker of the National Assembly, Asad Kaisar, just now. And Bilawal Bhutto tweeted about it, and he termed it a surprise. Imran Khan is the one who was, telling us that he's going to give a surprise, but it appears that the opposition has given yet another surprise to him by bringing a no trust motion against the speaker as well. So the session is about to begin, and in Islamabad they have kind of sealed all major roads, and every road going towards the red zone has been blocked by containers, and the security is on high alert, and we are hearing reports that PTI people might, turn violent, and some unconfirmed reports.
Yeah,
also
Aleo, in fact, we're looking at visuals coming in from Islamabad, like you rightly said, of barricading taking place in different parts of the city. So it's almost like a lockdown ahead of this no trust vote.
Yes, it's a lockdown-like situation, and many roads are blocked. I'm just headed to the parliament, and just one of the roads is open right now, and almost all major roads, major routes that lead to the parliament are blocked right now. The security is being managed by the paramilitary and military forces. Rangers and FC personnel are deployed, so the security is being taken care by them, and we have seen that initially when the no trust move was being tabled, and the opposition members were in talks about it, there was a sort of an attack on the parliament lodges of an opposition party by the PTI people, and they were police actually attacked them, and and they were arrested, later released. But and then there was another attack on Sindh House where dissenting members of the PTI were staying. So on more than one occasion, the PTI people have turned violent against their dissenting members, and on multiple occasions they've suggested. Imran Khan also suggested recently, I think a day ago, that there might be some kind of social media abusive campaign against them as well. They won't be able to show their faces. There will be public humiliation of people who vote against him, and basically has made this fight a fight of between good and evil. He's terming himself all that represents good. And yesterday he tweeted that he was probably in Karbala, and he was kind of comparing himself to Imam Hussein, who is a sacred figure, and he's basically using the religion card heavily and not just using the religion card. All politicians do that, but also basically suggesting that everyone who goes against him is basically traitor
Yeah.
and even anti-Islam.
Alia, the kind of innuendo is is very specific and very dangerous. Like you importantly pointed out, charges of treason in Pakistan can be interpreted practically as a call to violence, as an incitement to violence. It's interesting and quite unnerving how the opposition is thinking about treason charges against Imran Khan, and Imran Khan is branding them all as traitors. Both can be interpreted as calls to violence.
Yes, so he is also threatened. He's also saying that he'll take legal action and treason charges will be filed against opposition leaders who are involved in. He says they're involved in some conspiracy, foreign conspiracy, and he's also saying that that will be done. We see that treason laws, sedition laws, are heavily misused in Pakistan against dissenters, against activists, not just politicians, but activists who are critical of the state, of the establishment. So he is critically playing that, clearly playing that card as well, that using treason charges against them. But the thing is that it is Imran Khan who has actually kind of, betrayed the trust that is reposed in a government, a top state official, by revealing the, contents of a very personal and confidential letter that his envoy apparently sent to him. And, envoys send such memos, such letters to their governments back home all the time, and it's a normal practice. So diplomats I've spoken to in the past few days, they're kind of very frustrated with this whole, thing that he's naming a country, because now Pakistani diplomats abroad will have a problem, dealing with the countries they are in. No one will tell anything to them because they see that their prime minister reveals everything publicly, and the diplomats, Pakistan's diplomats in other countries will have a hard time doing this. So
Okay.
this whole
Yeah.
conspiracy thing, I think it is the conspiracy narrative that he's saying. This is all just a kind of a ploy to stay relevant and to buy some time. He previously did a presidential reference in the Supreme Court against dissenting members. Nothing came out of it. The Supreme Court is still hearing it, and he thought that maybe the decision will be announced in a day or two, and he'll be able to stop dissenting members from voting. But that didn't happen. The case is still being heard, and it doesn't appear that the SC will disqualify them or something, because the Constitution does allow that. So that is debatable whether or not dissenting members can vote or not. So he, after having been failed on every front, he is now very desperate, it appears, and he's ignoring every kind of advice that is being given, even by his well-wishers. Even PTI, pro Imran Khan anchors have been advising him that he should resign. Now, Kamran Khan, a very senior anchor person who has been supporting Imran Khan,
Yes.
even he is saying now that the only option the prime minister has is to resign and stay, make an exit with his dignity intact. But it appears that he's made it an issue of ego and he's not ready to give up. Now there's another perception that he might, all the PTI members might resign from the assembly. And that might be the big surprise that Imran Khan has been telling us about. But that won't change much either, because they're not in the majority anymore. Elections
Yes.
have to be held if the majority of the National Assembly